Colts Nation, and what is up, No Horsing family? Welcome back to an episode of the No Horsing Around podcast. As always, I am one of two dudes talking Colts. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Burton. And as always, we are brought to you by our amazing sponsor, WagerWire. WagerWire is a revolutionary sports betting app that allows you to get in and out of your parlays, in and out of your bets, placing them all the way up to the moment the game starts. You can go check them out. Go over to wagerwire.com, drop in your email address. We have kind of a little bit more information. The app is coming this year. And then also go over and follow them on Twitter at WagerWire. And for those who are feeling frisky, you can follow them on Threads now. I think it's at WagerWire Live. I'll find out for sure for you guys with that. But now's a great time to use this too as we get into it, because we're going to be talking today about Anthony Richardson, AR5. And will he be breaking records, right? Like we've talked about, we had a previous show where me and Zach both kind of did over-unders. Did we think he was going to throw over this amount of yards? Did you think he was going to rush over this amount of yards? And so I thought it'd be fun, right? So if you peep the thumbnail, you're going to see RG3 on there a lot. And it's going to probably surprise you that he set a lot of these records that we're going to talk about. And I'm kind of going to go over three main ones. Do we think that Anthony Richardson is going to be able to break some of these records? I'm going to give you my opinion, and then I want to hear from you guys in the comment section on if you think what your opinion is. Do you think that he can break some of these records, right? So let's start with the first one, which is most rushing yards for a rookie in a season. Okay, so RG3 broke this record, and he set the number at 815 yards. What do we think? Do we think that Anthony Richardson can rush over 850 yards for the season? Let's do some fun little, some quick math, right? Some fun quick math as we look over here. We go to the calculator. We say 815 yards divided by 17 games. He's going to have to average 47.9 yards per game. So when you break it down like that, if he starts every game, it's very doable. Me and Zach have talked about this a lot when it comes to Richardson. Is I think he's going to have 1 to 2 big splash plays every game, whether it's a pass or a rush, right? He can get 47 yards in one rush potentially. So as far as the amount of rushing yards for the season by a rookie, I think it's a record he can definitely break. I could see it happening. It could be by a little. It could be 820 yards. It could be 817. It's a very real possibility, because the other part of this too is minus how many yards he has to get. We know they're going to utilize his legs. Irsay went on the Pat McAfee show as of today, as of the recording, right? And he discussed they know, and Coach Steichen knows the need to get him on the field. Could they win more games with Minshew starting the season at quarterback? Probably. But Richardson's got to play. He's got to get experience, which leads me to believe he's going to play. And the easiest way to make it simpler for Richardson is run him. Get him out on organized and predetermined quarterback runs, right? Do a little RPO. Get him out on the edge, because when you get out and you're running like that, the coverages become simpler to throw. And he's probably going to run. I mean, here's the thing. Like, this guy is, when you compare him to RG3 was faster, but he had a slighter frame. This is a big dude, right? We've seen the pictures. We've seen the measurables. This is a big dude that's fast, which leads to the next one, right? Most rushing touchdowns in a season. So who do we think, as I say, big and fast, who could possibly hold this record? It's a guy that he's considered to be compared to a lot. It's Cam Newton. Cam Newton in 2011 rushed for 14 touchdowns. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to take the under. I don't think this is a record that he's gonna break. 14 touchdowns is a lot. Let's just look no further. Go back 2 years. Jonathan Taylor had 18. And we were like, that's an MVP caliber season. 14 rushing touchdowns is a lot of rushing touchdowns for any position, let alone a quarterback, let alone a rookie quarterback, right? I think they could use him something similar to the way that they did with Cam Newton in regards to Cam Newton ran a lot. He ran a lot. He's a big body. They ran him a lot in goal line situations. I think they're going to do that with Richardson too. I think I said in the over-under, I think I'm more that 10 touchdown, probably 7 to 10 rushing, because I think he's going to get a lot of carries in the red zone. But you still have Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, right? Like you still have this workhorse of a running back. That's just not one that I see. That's a lot of touchdowns. I mean, Jalen Hurts in this offense that they're going to run had a lot of rushing touchdowns last year because of the kind of the tush push, the QB sneak. I was talking about this with a buddy of mine today. Jalen Hurts, a lot of people are comparing him to Anthony Richardson. It's a very different type of runner, right? We were talking about Jalen Richardson. Jalen Hurts is a very physical quarterback runner, right? Like he's a thick guy. And Richardson is thick, but he's big, and he's thick, big, and he's fast. So it's kind of crazy when you start looking at all those things. I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to relate in that way to be 14 touchdowns, right? I don't think I see that. So then the other one, obviously, they'll wind this out is most rushing yards in a game was 138 by RG3 in his rookie season. Do I think that Richardson could do that? Yes. But I just don't know if they're going to give him that many carries. I may be talking out both sides of my mouth, right? I don't know if he's going to get at that many to be able to accumulate that amount of yards, because I think his are going to come like you saw in college on these big chunk ones, 50 yards, like that big run he had against LSU or against Utah. I think that's what you're going to see a lot of. So as far as in a game, I don't know if I see that 138 yard performance. So kind of the three categories, most rushing yards in a season, I think it's very doable. Most rushing touchdowns, I just don't see it. 14 is just so many. And as far as in a game, 138, it's possible. That's probably in the middle for me. So I think the most likely is yards in a season. The least likely is touchdowns. And then right in the middle is yards in a game. And what's crazy is when you look at these stats, right? Like it's just they're very different quarterbacks who accomplished it. RG3, like I said, slight, fast, good arm, really good quarterback, and got injured. And then Cam Newton, big, physical, and they ran him that way. And he had a lot of touchdowns his rookie season. He had a lot of passing yards too. Let's not forget that. So, what do y'all think? I want to hear from you on those three things. Do we think that Anthony Richardson is going to be breaking some of these records? Do we think he can break the records for most rushing yards by a rookie quarterback in a season? Can he do it in a game? Can he do the amount of touchdowns? Y'all heard all the stats. What do y'all think? As always, you guys, please like, share, subscribe. We're getting close to the season. We're getting close to training camp. We're going to be ramping up our guests. We're going to be starting having some more guests on. We're going to be at training camp. We're excited about that. That's the plan. At least we're still waiting. And then we hit training camp, hit the season. It's time to go, you guys. Like, we're excited. So, as always, I love you. I know Zach loves you. I'm out.